Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Nishtita, and first up, students of different colleges are staging a protest in Bengaluru's Central College against Bangalore University's decision to hike exam fee for degree and PG courses for the year. And now the police officials have come in and taken the protesting students into custody. Earlier, scores of students had barged into the Central College where a meeting was underway and shouted slogans demanding that the hike in fee be revoked. Well, earlier they had stormed the venue where the syndicate members were holding a meeting to decide on exam fee hike and tackling forgeries. The university has compelled the students to pay up the fee in the wake of new regulation it brought into force some time back. According to the new regulation, the students belonging to backward communities, SC and ST categories, are not supposed to take part in protests, and if they are found to be doing so, the fee concession awarded to them by the government would be cut off. Hence, from this academic year onwards, students of these categories have to remit the full fee first and later claim the concession from Department of Social Welfare, submitting a requisition through online form and get the rebate. Only then their rebated fee would be refunded to them. Students are opposing this rule and want preciously existing system to be brought into force. Today they demanded that the new regulation be abolished. My colleague Arun joins us with more details on this. Well, Arun, absolute chaotic scenes being witnessed there. Tell us more about it.
That's right, Nishtita. As we speak, there is a sense of uneasy calm prevailing in the Central College premises where currently, as we speak, the syndicate meeting is still underway. It has not been called off, but clearly in a very inspiring unity, student wings from different political outfits joined hands and protested. In fact, the police reinforcements were called in, and about 8 to 10 students have been taken into custody. But the students have been asked to move out. They have actually vacated the place where the meeting is underway. The students are still inside the Central College premises. We do not know whether they plan to continue the protest or not, but as we speak, the meeting of the syndicate is still underway. No decision on whether there will be a decision to put off the hike has been taken, but clearly the syndicate members shocked into silence by the decision of the students to protest and seek proper justice. So clearly, as we speak, some of the students have been taken into custody. The others are still inside the Central College campus. We don't know whether they plan to protest or not. There is a sense of uneasy calm prevailing as far as the Central College premises are concerned. But the latest update is that some kind of semblance of calm has returned back to Central College premises, although it is too early to say whether the students will simply walk away or continue the protest, Nishita.
Right, and also we understand that the students are opposing the indiscriminate hike in exam fee. Any response from the university officials if there is at least discussions going on if it needs to be repealed?
Nishita, what we're given to believe is that this was perhaps one of the points which could have been flagged off for discussion in the Senate and the syndicate meeting, mega party. But whether they have decided to kind of postpone the decision or whether the decision to hike the fees has been dropped is still not known. The clearer picture will be available probably later in the evening, later in the afternoon is what we're given to believe. So clearly the syndicate members being virtually silenced into inaction by this protest. Imagine the syndicate meeting is underway and a group of protesters, student protesters, barge into the room and the Vice Chancellor and other senior officials and the syndicate members completely thrown off guard. So that is what happened. At this point of time, some of these agitating students have been taken into custody, but whether the decision will be put on hold or whether it will be taken to its logical conclusion or whether it will not be carried forward, that will be only known later in the afternoon, perhaps around 4 or 5, Nishita.
Right, and also we understand that many of the students have been taken into custody, but has the situation been completely diffused? Do we know what the on-ground situation is like?
Nishita, as we speak, as you rightly pointed out, the protesters have been moved out of the camp of the building where the syndicate meeting is currently underway. Some of the students are still inside the Central College premises. We don't know whether they will continue the protest, but they have moved out of the building where the syndicate meeting was underway. About 8 to 10 student protesters have been taken into custody. They have been moved out in a police van. The rest of them, a small group, is still inside the Central College premises. We don't know as yet whether the protest will continue or they'll simply walk away. But clearly, as we speak, the protests seem to have been completely changed by the action of the police, who landed at the spot and managed to whisk away those who are actually creating ruckus inside the syndicate meeting, Nishita.
Right, and certainly such an act where police officials are coming into the college grounds and arresting students, absolute chaos and violence. One more blot on Bangalore University, which is already embroiled in numerous controversies.
That's right. It does nothing to enhance the image of an institution, that too an institution of learning. And the very fact that the government is perhaps extremely mute, completely unmoved by what is happening, seems to be telling a totally different tale, because it is the issue of the reputation of the Institute of Learning, Mr. Da.
Right, stay with us, Arun. Let's quickly listen to what one of the protesters had to say.
From the past 4 days, from AIDSO Students Organization, we have been asking the VC and registrar to cut down the examination fees. Actually, it was 165 rupees examination fees. Now they have increased it to 2,800 rupees. Can anybody imagine a backward caste student who was paying 165 rupees, that suddenly he has to pay? Then if government or university has funds, we will reimburse it. This we cannot accept. Our demand is it must be retained back to 165 rupees only. And the movement from AIDSO will continue unless our demands are met.
Well, that is what one of the students went on to state. But however, the students, many of the students have now been taken into custody. and the situation seems to have been diffused for the moment, but the students have vowed to protest against this move of the Bangalore University till the move has been repealed. Let's not forget that this comes in the backdrop of the Bangalore University taking a stance that students belonging to backward classes, SC/ST students, should not be staging a protest, and if they do, then they lose all their subsidies or the concessional fees that the government has made available to them. Well, thank you, Arun, for joining us with all those details. And well, moving on to the big news just coming in. Passenger plane hijacked. Virgin Blue passenger plane hijacked and forced to land in Bali. Australian Virgin Blue passenger plane was coming from Brisbane. This is the big news that is just coming in, where a Virgin Blue passenger plane has been hijacked and forced to land in Bali. It had left Brisbane. The Australian passenger plane has now been forced to land in Brisbane. It is not known if it was forced to land by people on the plane or whether it was escorted in. Virgin Blue Planes, also known as Virgin Australia, is Australia's second largest airline. And this particular plane, which had numerous passengers on board, was forced to land in Bali. My colleague Verghese joins us with more details from this. Well, Verghese, what more can you tell us?
Well, Nishita, this plane was traveling from Brisbane, but the exact location of it is not yet known, because what happened is midway they believe, and it's a belief that it has been hijacked, and also we are not sure whether it was if it was made to land forcibly by the Indonesian Air Force in Bali, Despensar Airport, or whether it was made to land over there by a group within the system. So these are the speculations that are there at present, and this airline belongs to the Virgin Blue Airlines, and it's also called as Virgin Australia. It is part of the second largest airline industry in Australia, and it was started somewhere in 2000. And it is jointly owned up by Sir Richard Branson and Brett Godfrey. Now, the speculation now that is hitting is that if it is a hijack, it has come close to the heels of the Malaysian Airlines. So is there something that is connected with that? That is the speculation that is being put at present. But at present, there are very sketchy reports coming in with regards to this, and only reports have been coming in, and that too from the Indonesian Air Force. So we are not sure whether it is the Indonesian Air Force that picked it up on the radar after it must have gone away from its flight path and forcibly made to land in Bali. So we are waiting for further reports on this matter, Nishita.
Right, Verghese, stay with us. Well, latest reports indicate that this might not be a case of a hijack, but the Virgin Blue airline might have been forced to stop after a passenger in an inebriated state forced the pilots to stop this to land this particular airline forcefully, is what latest reports are indicating at the moment. Well, this particular instance created quite a scare, as let's not forget that the MH370, the Malaysian airliner, which went missing for over 30 days and never to be found, might have sunken off the coast of Perth. And this was a Malaysian airliner, and we're looking at an Australian airliner now being force landed in Bali, although initial reports indicated that this could be a case of hijack. However, now reports trickling in that probably it is a false alarm, and that a miscommunication or a drunk passenger on board could have force landed this plane.